Welcome to another episode of Cosmic Conversations. I'm your host, Marla Martenson, and I am with an amazing energy healer called Zoran Hochstatter. I think I pronounced your last name right. Did I say it?
It did. It's okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, you were almost there. It's perfect.
Right. Well, let's hear how you pronounce it.
Hochstatter.
Hochstatter. Okay, I love it. Well, he's from Slovenia, you guys, in Eastern Europe. So, but you're coming to us from Florida, and so we're going to talk about his new book. Every Healing Has a Story, and it's an energy work called Bioenergy, and I'm super excited to talk about it. So, you first discovered this in 2004, right? You were a filmmaker.
Right. Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about how you discovered this and got into it.
Yeah, I see. I did it together with my wife. She gets half the credit, or more than half, should I say, because I know what's good for me. So that's we made. She's a filmmaker too. She's a director, and when we moved to Europe, we were looking to make a documentary or something that is. Whole life I've been working in Hollywood as a DP, and so I'm sick of bosses. I don't want to have a boss. So I, said, let's do something. We always do something for other people. Let's do something for ourselves, whatever. And documentary is a form that is very kind of nice to do because you learn something,
Yes.
When you do feature films, which I, mostly did, was, this is somebody else's script and is whatever it is. And I, with this, is something that you can do and present to people the way you want to present it. So this is why we were looking for the, in this healing world, and did a lot of research about this. And the film it's called Think About It. It should be about a different way of thinking and understanding healing and healing process and healthcare. So that's why it took about a year to, shoot a film and saw all these things, and then of course right there in front of our noses in Slovenia there was the best method that I've seen so far, and so that is presented through the Manchich method. But it's really about the different approach to healing and the way we understand these things. And then of course there's different approach to energy healing, which again this is bioenergy, but let's make this clear. Bioenergy is the same as chi, ki, prana, whatever. So every Reiki master is using exactly the same energy as I do.
Okay.
Every pranic healer, every chakra, whatever they do, using the same energy. Except that what I do, is what I evolved this to, is to distill it down to the essence. Because all the energy, all the information that your body needs to heal, because we don't heal, your body heals. So everything that is needed for that process is already contained in the energy. So if we let energy work, meaning if we keep it pure, then it will work the strongest. So in order to keep it pure, we have to just get away from any social, cultural, political, medical, whatever conditioning. And let's face it, everything we learn, even the healing methods are conditioning. Somebody tells you, and then now you think you know. You don't know. You know once you experience it, as in working with it, and a first-hand personal experience leads to knowledge. And once you have this knowledge, and the knowledge is simple. It works by itself. So now we have to learn how to remove ourselves from the process and how to keep it pure. And that I got it done pretty good. So so when you say people will start looking for it, and we'll Google the bioenergy, 135,000 sites will come up, and everybody will have a different interpretation of what's going on. And of course, they will all say, I'm the best, we're doing the best. Of course, it's not true, I'm the best. But just kidding. But it's the energy itself that does.
Right, it's not us. It's it's coming through us.
So for the comparison to Reiki, because people ask me this most of the time, right. It's the same energy, but the manipulation is completely different, and really different, and even though it looks similar because you put hands there, whatever, but it's completely different. It is approach, as in state of mind of the therapist, is completely different. So that is That's what makes it so much. People sometimes call it, Reiki on steroids, which is really is, but it's really, you know, all that intention that you have for healing manifests through techniques, and techniques are the manifestation of your intention. So that those techniques are important, and it's amazing. I've been doing this now for 13, 14 years, and I can't believe how many people, how many healers and energy workers do not understand the principle of how this works. And it really is the law of nature. That's all there is.
Well, like with Reiki, you need to be attuned by a Reiki master, and then you learn some symbols and things. So now with this, it's because I'm also certified in all these other modalities, and some you don't need to be attuned or anything, and the energy's available to all of us. So
That's
you
it.
just calling it in, and
That's like, you have a representative. It's like a church. You have to go to heaven with their help. You'll go wherever you're going by yourself, trust me. So we don't need a travel agency. And it's not, you don't need it. You are attuned. You attune yourself. It's really simple. And
do you also work with your guides? Do you call in guides and angels to work with you? Like with Reiki, we'll also call in the Reiki angels or guides, or no?
No, there's no. As a matter of fact, if you come to a seminar, you'll see what I mean by saying, we don't do anything. We learn the techniques, we execute techniques, then we go to the beach and have a mojito.
Okay.
Yeah, those are our angels. It's not, we don't, see, this is the thing, we don't need anything to, no middleman, whether it's angels or whatever. It's, you're an angel. Marla, whether you want it or not, you too could be an angel. And of course, when you start feeling godly, then it all goes,
And so there's some certain hand manipulations, the way you're working with that energy. That's the difference?
Yeah, hand manipulation, and the difference is really the secret is in the tension in the hands. Mm-hmm. That's what sort of escapes everyone.
The intention.
Tension. No, tension in your muscles.
Oh, the tension.
Tension.
Okay.
Yeah. And so through that tension, your intention gets manifested.
Well,
and you learn how to get it from the environment and put it into the other person, or I should say, into the other biofield. Because everything that's alive.
In your book, it's amazing because there's stories, which is really all stories of healing and cures and help that people have had, and some of it people were cured. There's stories of people cured from lupus and cancer and lung cancer and ovarian tumors, diabetes, glaucoma, stroke recovery. Even a horse. There's a picture of a horse in here that had its head.
Yeah, had an injury. And his the head the shifted. The whole.
In 4 days, it says here.
Yeah, it's that's what we call self-healing.
Right.
And anything and everything self-heals, because our natural state is health. So the way you naturally are, you're healthy. Then we don't. This is the difference. We don't gain illness. You lose health. Mm-hmm. So we approach this whole thing as reinstating the state of health, which is your natural state.
Right.
So we don't address the illness. We don't take out the tumor. The body takes care of the tumor. But we bring in the information that was lacking so the tumor came there. So it's really reinstating the information of well-being.
Yeah.
Because energy is information, which means information where the recipient of it is formed by it. So it's your original state of how the nature made you.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. There's so many people that I know. For instance, my mother lives in an age-appropriate community where she lives outside of Seattle, so that means there's a lot of people in their 70s, 80s, 90s. And she was so depressed the other day because about 5 people had died within, like 5-6 weeks. And somebody's always has an illness there, cancer or heart failure or diabetes or, on and on and on. And it's kind of like we're programmed to think that it just kind of fell out of, you just caught it, you just got it, it fell out of the sky, kind of. Right.
You lost health. Your immune system, which we call immune system, but whatever you want to call it, is all whatever. Biofield is not whole. So to us, diarrhea, cancer, or whatever, it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's just people, like in your mom's community, get depressed when they die. Well, they all die. All my patients die.
Yeah, right.
So dying is not bad as long as it's with dignity, as long as you die healthy and happy. I think it's all really about happiness. Do you know any happy people that are ill?
Well, I don't think so. I don't think it's a happy. But so I think that some people have the mindset of, well, when you get older, that's just what happens. You have to deal with all these illnesses, and I don't subscribe to that. I think we can be into the 90s or whatever, or over 100, and vibrant.
Yeah, vibrant and purposeful. You will not be jumping around like when you were 25, and you will dance more like the slow dances, but you will dance nevertheless.
That's right. There's a famous yoga teacher. I think she's like 97 now. She's on the internet, right? This lady that she doesn't seem to, slow down at all. So it's awesome. She ballroom dances and,
yeah. In a lot of ways, I didn't slow down either. And I travel like crazy. I'm all over the world. It's like, and I get jet lagged, just like you do. So
yeah, I came back from Europe on Monday, and it's Friday now, and I have a cold, and I'm exhausted, and my, but that's the body. It's tough on the body. 13-hour flight and time change, but.
And what you have to make sure is that now. Of course, this is a very important part of your day when you talk to me, but just take rest.
Yes.
Don't do it too much. You have to.
And vitamin C in the water.
Well, purple water. That's
that vitamin C stuff.
Must
Purple.
be
High vibrational purple. High vibrational. Okay, so the biofield. So you refer to it as the energy blueprint of the physical body. So you say that every living organism is a biofield. Mm-hmm. So can you just explain that a little bit more?
Every biofield is alive. I mean, if there isn't a biofield, the biofield cannot be that. It just isn't any.
Right.
But biofield is, it's just a. See, we all understand that everything is energy now. Mm-hmm. So. Physical body is energy body too. It's just in this different density, and it has the material. It acts like a. See, this is the old paradigm. We think of material and manifestation as being different than your energy or spiritual or soul or whatever. It's all the same. Mm-hmm. Even it's getting normal now to talk about mind-body. Right. Or body-mind. It's not just one or the other. And that is very important to understand. So whenever this biofield, this aura, this whatever you have, whatever you are, is out of balance, then it first shows on that plane, but we don't see that. We may feel it, but then after, it eventually manifests on a physical body.
Right.
On your spleen or your whatever you get. So you get the, of course, a lot of it is self-inflicted by our life choices and lifestyle, but also I think most of it is self-inflicted by our mind, by our worldview. Mm-hmm. Our mind is not, a biofield constantly interacts with its environment. And environment includes ourselves and includes our environment around us, which is the material environment and the energy environment, which includes our thoughts, our feelings. Yeah. So when we all know that when we're stressed, we get easier ill and stuff. Because, of course, stress is, you have these hormones that go up and down, but when you're stressed, you have a lot of adrenaline out. But, when it's a matter of what takes precedence over each other. When you are in danger and you're scared, your adrenaline will make you fight or flight. But then, when that is up, our immune system goes down.
Yeah.
And look, we are scared and worried every single minute of our lives. If we somehow forget, then they remind us very fast that we should be very scared.
That's right. Just watch the news every day, and you'll just be, crazy.
I try not to read the news. Sometimes it's so funny that I have to read it, but normally I try to stay away because it upsets me. Yeah. Being upset is not good. Right. You make different decisions. So all those elements are important for your health. So this is what biofield is. My thoughts, my feelings, my fear, that's a part of a biofield as well. Not just my heart is a pump. It right. is, but there's many, many other things. So we don't. We don't. I do, but a lot of people don't understand this, and science doesn't want to, sort of get on board, and they'll say, "Well, prove it to me scientifically." I'm not a scientist. You prove it to me scientifically. I mean, you see results. You see the book. I mean, people that come to level 1 seminar and on Monday go home and help the child with asthma, and the child doesn't have asthma anymore. What kind of empowerment is that? That to me is like I should have, people banging on my door, banging the door down. But it's, it's so much out there, to self, how much energy, healing is out there. It's hard for people to believe that. I could have made this all up.
Well, and you help people. Have you been helping people with autism as well?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I think there's a couple of things out in the book about autism. Autism is actually a very, I will say it's a very easy thing to work on. Like some things are easier than others. And that's mostly because of our, state of mind and how we, why is cancer so hard? Because there's a stigma about it. And people, when you're diagnosed, you get very worried. People, autistic people, don't get very worried about that. I mean, children or adults, it's just, and autism is simple because it's nothing is ill there. It's just one part of the brain doesn't communicate with the other. It's like Apple and PC. They're perfectly okay, both of them, but they can't communicate. So when we, put information of the original, how it should be, in there, one thing catches up with the other, whatever. The changes are enormous and very fast. Most of my best successes were when people, brought me the child and I was working on them. And then I said, listen, this goes very fast, but yet still, why don't you learn it yourself and you help your child? Otherwise you have, my 4 days treatments are, how many times can you fly in from wherever you are? Right. Come in, fly for a seminar, learn it, and you will have, on level 1, you will learn enough to help your child or any other autistic child. So I'm planning a special program, but I just don't have time to do, just for the parents of autistic children. It's actually so easy. The whole protocol is probably about 15 minutes. And that's it. It's very simple. Well, and you see the differences right away. Of course, first is like, you say, well, he's still autistic. Well, it is. But when I first came, or it came to me, I couldn't put hands on them because they don't let you and they don't look you in the eyes. By 4 days, they will look you in the eye. Those are huge changes. And then it will take a couple more times and they will be echoes. They'll get out of it. Wow. It's not. And then, so, of course, a lot of times the problem is that people, they don't believe themselves. Mm-hmm. So if you've got a child that's now completely different than before, but it's still not perfect. What is perfect? People want to even physically come to me and say, I want to have perfect health. Mm-hmm. What is perfect health? Yeah. You will get an illness and then you will fight it and you will beat it. That's the perfect health. But they want to be the shining example of, people come and say, I have to go check with my doctor if I'm okay. Right. But don't you feel it? How do you deal with yourself? But, a lot of people don't. And so same as a lot of people, just can't believe because this is incurable. How will you believe that now this is not good? I had a mother, one of them, there's in the book, months after we were done with her son, she goes, Zoran, but Parker's okay, right? I said, is something not right? No, he's fine. She just can't believe it. People don't believe themselves. Right. And so, but it works.
Yeah, that's how we've been programmed by the medical industry. This is not curable, or this is what you've got to do. This is the only way. They have certain protocols. So if and that what was fascinating, what you said was that's true, because if someone's told they have cancer, the fear there is so great. It's like, oh my God. And then that sometimes will fuel it. Like you could have cancer for years and not know it, but once they get that diagnosis, that's kind of...
You and I have had cancer many times.
Yeah, right. The immune system...
If you go there on the wrong Thursday and they got something, right? Or what's worse, you get a pre-cancer.
Yes. Oh.
It says, you are now in a state of pre-death, which is called life.
Right.
So death condition. I mean, come on, So it is funny but those are things that we have to deal with, and everybody needs help. And, there's plenty of people that are willing to
We need
go
help
past.
not only physically but emotionally. Emotionally, we've got a lot of pain. Everybody from childhood, with relationships, everything.
No physical trauma or physical spasm is not connected to a psychological or emotional spasm. And we had them all our lives. And as I said, childhood and parents and not parents and bullies. And if you think back, you probably went through a lot of
I was bullied as a kid, and still I think in 6th grade it was real bad, and I still think maybe that's why I let myself be bullied in relationships with men and being verbally abused, and probably so trying to clear that out.
When you get to a level 2 seminar, we have a part which is my favorite part, which is called mental hygiene. It's exactly dealing with these things. It's dealing with your unprocessed things. You have a conflict, and you keep carrying that conflict with you all your life. So it's very simple. We have to forgive and be forgiven.
Yes.
But we all sometimes are ready to forgive, however we understand that. But we don't forgive ourselves.
Right.
We don't. My pants. We don't believe ourselves. We don't forgive ourselves because we don't think we're capable of that. Because that takes something special. That's not. Things are very simple. You just have to do them.
And so with some, like I do distance healing for people as well, like Reiki has distance healing. Does this work also? Do you do distance healings as well?
I do. Actually, professionally, I do probably more distance healing than in person. I prefer in person. Not that there's a difference. There is results are the same. The process is different, and because intention works sort of differently on distance, but the actual transmission of energy is probably stronger at a distance.
Yeah.
But you are, deprived of a healer, me, whoever is there, and it's easier for us to believe that, because you see it, you believe it, you touch it, it's there.
Yeah.
So you feel the touch, you feel so it's sometimes easier. But if you don't care, if some people will come to me regularly, but they don't want long distance. But some people say, no problem, if you can do it. And it's very practical. It's sometimes even too practical, People then they don't have enough of the responsibility to it, because we have to commit to healing. Because I don't do your healing, you do your healing. So commitment is the secret of healing. So it's much more commitment if you go like the pilgrimage, if you go there, you have to go. If you just do it on the internet, it's not the same. So if you do it, in the comfort of your home, that is not as good, but then the transmission is stronger, so it kind of evens out. But I prefer if the people come to me first in a person and then do the long distance. But 70% of the people I work with,
if they're out of state or in another country, I do too. I do some distance healing, and they tell me, I felt someone touch me. I felt this energy here, there, which is great. But I do love to work with people in person too. I really love that.
It's easier for us because it keeps you honest meaning real time, because you're right there.
Right.
It's much harder to keep that intention and to keep that thing on distance than in person.
So tell me about this. How many levels are there? How can people work with you? Where are you going? Is it all on your website? Tell me a little bit about the
It's all on my website. There's 2 levels, level 1 and 2, and then there's a separate. It's called the Pro Track, or certification process, which really is once you've done this, there are certain conditions, and you have to do this much of that, and it's kind of a what do you call that? When there really is a mentorship, kind of. I only have 1 or 2 students like that, and you learn, you work much more, and I tell you things that you can be told only after you worked a certain amount. I mean, not that it's a secret, it's just that you wouldn't get it before. So after you work, other different questions come up. And after you work enough, no questions come up because you kind of get it. And so once you do this, on that Pro Track, you get, much more knowledge and practice by itself. And then, of course, the certificates, it's given by me, and I certify it's a quality control, that you are doing it according to, no added stuff to it, because people sometimes think it's too simple. This is too simple, so they have to add a funny hat or whatever. It's no,
crystals.
all that, crystals and stuff. Crystals are beautiful, but you don't need that. So people doubt, and then they think they have to add things. Plus, a lot of people change things because they have to, want to make money or more money and want to become, it's a proprietary thing. I developed this and that. And so the certificate you get from me for pure bioenergy therapy is that you are doing it according to the laws of nature and the way I teach it. That's all there is.
Well, Zoran, thank you so much for spending this time with us. And everybody, the links are below. And his book is Every Healing Has a Story. There's some amazing stories in here. And check it out. And check out his website and his schedule if you want to become a bioenergy healer. I'm going to check it out. If you come to LA, I would love to take that course. So I'm going to be checking that out. And
once again, pure bioenergy.
Pure bioenergy. Pure bioenergy.
Pure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for having me. And